Hi and welcome to a new vlog episode on my channel. I'm Andrea and I am the creator and the designer behind all things Yarnandy. In this vlog episode I will tell you what's been happening in the past 2 months, because in November I wasn't able to film a vlog episode due to my recent illness. In November I visited my family back in Romania and got a cold that is still haunting me a month later, but when I returned from the trip I didn't even have my voice anymore, so I hope you understand why I wasn't able to make a vlog episode for November. In these vlogs I invite you to pick up a project and to stitch along with me while I show you what I've been up to during the, in this case, past 2 months. I will show you whips or work in progress, finished objects and finished projects or patterns that I've published and you can now check out for yourself, and any news or events that are coming up and I would like to share with you. Usually I also read a comment from the previous vlog episode, and I will go ahead and do that now. And I invite you to write your own comments, and then maybe one of them will be chosen for the next episode. On the previous episode, Audrey Smith 2557 commented, "You have the most beautiful patterns. I want to work up some of your ideas as soon as I finish some of my whips." It's been 2 months, so I hope, Audrey, that you have finished some of your whips, especially the ones for the holidays, and that you can start a new project soon. So let me start by sharing my whip with you. This is a 2-color project, and what you see now is the back, but the front is much more interesting. It looks like the houndstooth pattern from weaving, and this is made just by using the honeycomb stitch in Tunisian crochet with 2 colors, and you change color at the end of the forward pass, and it naturally creates this beautiful houndstooth pattern. What you need to keep in mind is that the yarn has to be quite thick to show off the pattern properly. So in my case I'm using the equivalent of DK weight yarn, and I don't have a label for this yarn because it's unraveled from some sweaters that my mom found. So this is yarn from my mom's stash from the visit back home, and I'm using a 5mm hook, which means that it's much thinner than I would normally recommend with DK weight yarn, but that makes the fabric quite thick and stiff, and it will be perfect for a project that uses this stitch. In my case this will be the back panel of a cardigan with satin sleeves, so it will be a Chanel inspired cardigan. And if I have the energy, yes, I will write up that pattern and grade it as to the best of my ability to a full range of sizes. And in the same pattern I also made a mitten. I need to make the second one. The thumb is simple, it's just simple stitch, and because it's worked in 1 row forward pass in 1 color and return pass in the other color, then it has this column like with the colors. Speaking of mittens, I don't actually have now a whip, but I did finish the lacy mittens and even started testing the pattern for them, and let me try them both on. So the pattern for these is now in testing, and I got great feedback on how to make the lacy part be centered on hand. And because our hands are not perfectly flat like this, I will move the thumb a bit towards the inside. This is similar to mittens that I've seen designed, where the thumb starts on the inside of the hand, the palm, because normally mittens have one pattern on the outside of the hand and one pattern on the inside. This is usually much simpler. And you have the thumb on the inside like this. So I will adapt the pattern so that there's one extra stitch here, or maybe 2 stitches, so that you can have the beautiful lace on the middle. And I will use this for future patterns as well, where you have a motif on the front. So that's growth. Thank you for the testers for the great feedback on this. The pattern for these mitts is finished, published. You can get it now and make some mittens for yourself. And on the channel you also find a tutorial on how to add the elastic on the bottom, so that the bottom edge of the mitten stays right on your hand, so there's no wind going through here. This one doesn't have elastic yet, and as you can see there's space going, so there can be some air going through here. This one is perfectly taut to my hand. So if you want to make some of these, they work up very fast, and they come in many sizes for different sizes of hands, because we all need some mittens. So the pattern for these is coming soon, and the pattern for these ones is out there already, and the pattern for these ones I still have to write up, and I have to make the second one as well. These ones are worked from the cuff up, these ones are worked from the fingers down, and these ones are also worked from the cuff up. And the difference is that here you can make increases for the thumb, and here you cast on stitches. And now you have a video on how to cast on stitches at the end of the row, also on the channel, and you decrease to create the shape of the thumb. Something else that I've finished during the past month, actually I think it was in November, is this cute bag based on a pattern from the 1910s, and I added a silk lining to it. I haven't written up the blog post yet with all the details about this, but you can see how it moves and how it hangs, and the tassels are interesting. It's a cute project if you need a bag for a special event in your life. I will link the pattern in the description if you want to check it out. While we're on the topic of vintage things, I don't know if you've seen them, but there are some cute ski caps knit from the 1930s, 1940s that are making the rounds right now, and I wanted one, but I made it in Tunisian crochet. So this is the shape, where you have the increases and then you have the decreases on the other side, and you tie it under your chin. And that's what it looks like. I had to add elastic to the back bit here so that it sticks to my head, and that's what motivated me to make the tutorial for adding elastic to the mittens as well, so that you also know how to add it. Let me know if you're interested in a pattern for this. In the actual pattern I will make a different design for the edges here, so you don't have to add any elastic. In this version I use the Tunisian reverse stitches, and they are a bit taller than the Tunisian knit stitches that make up the main body of this ski cap. So the edge is actually a bit wider than the body, which makes it ruffle a bit. So not a great solution, but I am in the process of preparing a few tutorials about Tunisian reverse stitches and what kind of ribbing you can create with these stitches. I have all the samples of ribbing here, and what I will use for the cap will be this one row of reverse stitches, one row of reverse purl stitches, which look like simple stitches on the other side. So this will be slightly elastic, and that will solve the problem of the cap. But this is more of a passion project than a practical one. Still, I will write it up at some point if you're interested. The videos about ribbing will come out next year, of course, when I have time to edit. So there are two videos. One is about reverse stitches and the other one is about all the different kinds of ribbing you can do with Tunisian crochet in both directions. Another finished project that I have here is this top. If you remember, I told you that I started making a summer top based on the same pattern as the cowl with peaches, and ta-da! This is the front with the peaches and the cute lace bottom, and on the other side you have a simple stitch and the same lace bottom, so it goes all around and it has a cute and non-curling edge. So this is the top in my size, and I will have to write it up and grade it for all the sizes. I'm very proud of how it came out, and I hope you will test it for me, or that you will give it a try when it comes out next year. I hope towards the end of spring, so that you have time to make one for yourself if you like this kind of Tunisian crochet garments. So this is made in cotton, mostly cotton with a bit of elastane, and theoretically this is supposed to be yarn for socks, but if you ever tried wearing crochet or knit socks made of cotton, you will know that they will keep your feet cold, not warm. So I think this is a much better application for this yarn, especially as it creates a very smooth and uniform fabric. I almost forgot. I just finished this one. So while I was ill, after I came home from the visit to my parents, I started another very simple to me project. It only required the ability to follow a chart, so no decision making, no thinking of dimensions and stuff like that. I got 2 balls of yarn, one crochet hook, the same 5mm hook that I've been using, and I made this. It's a capelet and it has 11 sections, so 11 pattern repeats that look like this. They go all around the neck edge, and that makes it so that it's very good at covering the whole body, and it's super cute when you wear it like this, and it's very warm as well. I mean, in the winter I would not wear it directly over the shirt, but over something else it keeps you warm, and it's pretty. Ever since I finished it two days ago, I've been wearing it. I love it. And the pattern will be in testing starting in January after I write it up. And I hope you will give it a try. If you want to test it, please let me know. When I send out the testing call, you can sign up. It looks a lot more complicated than it is to make. You just have to follow the instructions and make yarn overs and decreases. Since I was ill and couldn't concentrate much on project, in the Fasten Off Yarn Along I only started and finished one project, which is this water bottle cozy made of Tunisian crochet stitches and made in wool for felting, the kind that you use to make slippers and such. And the pattern is by Janet of Studio 22 and it's called My Tunisian Har because it's the Hari water bottle. Actually, if you want to know why it's called like that, you have to find the pattern, and I will link it in the description and you can read the story of this pattern. I think it's a very cute project and very useful in the house, so I will be using this a lot. You probably know that while traveling I like to have a project on the hook at all times, so I took my 5mm Tunisian crochet hook and some cotton yarn and made one Mosaic washcloth, which I left in Romania at my sister's, so that was a small gift for her house. I will put a photo here of what it looks like. And I started another one. As you can see, it's quite small because I stopped. I had to frog a bit because I made mistakes in the chart, so it's always important to test your charts before publishing them, obviously, but also I like to have a nice sample. So I will probably make another sample for the one that I made for my sister. And if you saw the video for slippers, I also made 2 pairs of those from the pink and gray yarn, and I left those in Romania as well as small presents for my mother-in-law, and one for I think I left it with my sister. We all have the same foot size, so that was very convenient. It's a very quick project and I'm going to make a few more for the house because they get used a lot and they wear out after a few months of use. The last work in progress I want to show you is this front. And back of a sweater that I made in a sparkly yarn, which is made up of 2 strands of mohair-like yarn and one with the sparkle, but I think I will have to undo some of the shaping here because it seems a bit too much. So I will undo all of this stuff. And the thing with the pattern, this is the same stitch pattern that I used on the mitts and on the cowl I showed you in previous episodes. And the problem with it is that it creates this shaping here, so it goes like this, whoop whoop. So I should have centered it one full column in the middle so that there's a hole here, not a hill. But now I will not undo the whole front, or maybe I will, to remake it and to remake this part to be a bit wider. I wanted to make satin sleeves, which is why I created this bigger armhole, but it's a bit too big. So if I were to keep this and to just make a vest and add a bit of width here all around, then it would work quite well. But if I want to add sleeves, then it will not be great. so I think I will undo down here and then make it a bit wider. We'll see. There is time, there is no rush, because writing these up takes a lot more time than actually making the samples. So as for events, you very well know that there is the Fasten Off Yarn Along still happening until the end of the month, so you can still participate if you want to, with a project made from any pattern that you can buy from me. If you have a pattern that you won, that you got as a thank you for testing, anything goes. And there's going to be a crochet and Tunisian crochet mini skein crochet along that happens starting with Christmas Day and ending on the 11th of February. It is a crochet along with multiple designers. It's organized by Brittany from Not Bad Brit, and you can choose from 30 patterns that you can make with mini skeins if you have any. For example, if you bought an advent calendar and don't have any ideas what to make with the yarn, you can choose from this bundle of patterns and you can make one and win prizes. We have physical prizes, and we also have patterns and ebooks and other goodies. Another thing that's coming up is I will create another sample of this shawl, if you remember it, the one with the leaves. I will make it in yarn from Sparwolle here in Germany. They are creating custom gradient cakes for this pattern. So I will write up the pattern and we will start testing, and I will make another sample in the yarn, and then we will launch the kits with the yarn and the pattern together at the same time as I will launch the English version of the pattern. So in this collaboration, they make the yarn that goes with the pattern, and they also translate the pattern into German. So if you know people who speak German and are in Europe and would like to make this pattern, in a few months it will be out. The same, if you read my previous emails, you will know that we did the same with the Darova filet shawl, and you can buy custom gradient cakes made in colorways that I design, also from Sparwolle here in Berlin, in Germany. And last, but in my opinion, greatest piece of news of them all is that Aronima from Knitter Knotter is launching a new Tunisian crochet along, this time with Tunisian in the round and hexagons. She designed the most beautiful hexagons you've ever seen, and there are 30 designs for a huge blanket that you can make next year. And as usual, the crochet along will be on her blog, and you can also buy the PDF version, and you get the new PDF for each hexagon 2 or 3 times a month. There's a calendar on her blog post explaining how it works, which hexagon comes out when. It's a very beautiful project. Even if you don't want to make it now in 2024, you can still get the pattern and make it slowly over the years, and then you will have a truly heirloom blanket that will be passed down and used for generations to come. I think it's amazing. And if you're not familiar with Tunisian in the round, you can also participate in a course that Aronima has prepared. It's a course that teaches you how to work in the round, all the stitches that you need to know, and you can learn how to make a square, a hexagon, a tube, and probably in the future you will also have a module about making circles. At least I hope so. I have tested the course myself and can vouch for its quality and excellence, and you have left-handed and right-handed versions for each video where applicable for all the tutorials. And there are links in the description for both the blanket Tunisian crochet along PDF and the course. If you use these links in my description, I get a commission, but I would promote this course and the blanket pattern anywhere without any problem, without getting affiliate commissions, because I think it's worth it. It's amazing, and I'm very proud of Arunima for creating this pattern and this course. So if you like Tunisian crochet in the round, if you have some double-ended hooks, you only need one actually. Here I have one that I bought last year and haven't used. So if you want to make something that will be cherished forever, I highly recommend participating in the crochet along, and if you need to learn the techniques, I recommend that you try the course. Oh, I almost forgot. What you see there in the back is a shawl that is spread out on my couch. I don't know if you can see the details. It has this pattern that is inspired by Romanian embroidery, just like this one that I'm wearing. You can recognize the square with the spikes on the edge and the dots inside. This is a project that I've been working on. You can find it for months. I think you can see it in one of my first vlogs, the beginnings of it, and I still want to add one more pattern repeat, so there will be 5, and it will not actually be a shawl, it will be a scarf, because it's a bit narrower than the other ones. And I have another one that's almost finished. I think it's a bit too big to be a shawl, so it will become a blanket, and I will add backing to it. And I also need to finish this one, but these filet patterns take a lot of time to actually make the sample, even if the pattern itself is pretty simple. I think that's it for today's vlog. Let me know in the comments what you've been working on or what you have on your hook right now. And make sure to come back for more if you're interested next month to see what is happening, what I've been doing, and what new patterns you can try out for yourself. Make sure to subscribe to my email updates so you don't miss any news, coupons, and new launches or testing calls. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for watching, and I wish you happy holidays and a happy new year. I will see you in the next video. Bye.